Okay, welcome back, guys. We are going to talk today about, is this Ireland's year? Is this Scotland's year, maybe? And also, we're going to chat with Luke here about both those things and a bit of a revolutionary change in lifting, line-out lifting technology, shall we say. So, first of all, Luke, welcome to the channel. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having us. Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, we were just chatting before the recording here, and Luke has actually got a foot in both camps here in Scotland and in Ireland. And he's a bit of a rugby entrepreneur, shall we say. Luke, can you just give us a quick intro of yourself, and then we'll get into more details about lifting giants later?
Yeah, absolutely. Entrepreneurs may be strong, but I'll take it for the story. I suppose in a way, it's the work recently with lifting giants has kind of just been a testament to the rugby community. So I played what I say now is normal rugby, so club rugby over in Bournemouth in the city whenever I was at university, and was able then, because of a couple of things, to be able to play at clubs in Australia and over in Holland as well, which was cool. So while I was playing, I played back row, and with a love of products and product design, always kind of wanted something a bit beyond what I had access to. So the lifting blocks for LINEOUT, I used to turn up to games and kind of take a lot of time and care cutting the right shapes and having them all ready to go. My teammates would rock up and have bits of tissue paper out of the toilets 2 minutes before kickoff.
Oh, that's awful.
Bits
That wind you up, did it?
It was just funny watching it. We were buying, what a pair of boots are now, like 170, 180 quid.
Yeah.
That's for 50 quid. And this product, to me, was like the only thing that hadn't been thought of. I started cutting shapes and dishing them out to the guys in the team and pestering people constantly. That was about 10 years ago. Went on to design medical devices for children with special needs with another big company. And then around 3 years ago, started a design studio in Belfast with the help of two local investors, James and Jane Leckie as well, who are avid Ulster fans. Lifting Giants was born initially with a study. So we kind of said, we approached this like a medical device design. If you were looking at the problem of picking someone up, you would never end up with a rectangular bar. So the first thing we looked at was the person picking the people up. It was the hands of the lifter, and especially the hands of the lifter when they're at full extension.
It's crazy, isn't it, to think that with all the technology now, all the what have you got? You've got force gauges in mouth guards, that sort of thing, smart balls. People were still lifting with essentially foam blocks, or I remember players would be cutting up cricket pads was a favourite, I think, and taping that to themselves. And then, but no one had really thought about this or done anything about this until yourself. I mean, full disclosure here, guys, I'm trying to introduce you to a sponsor for the Six Nations. Lifting Giants is going to be sponsoring the channel for the Six Nations. And I didn't want to do a sponsor unless it was rugby related, and also it's going to benefit yourselves. I mean, and you guys have agreed for a 10% discount, I think, for any viewer for the duration of the Six Nations. All the details in the description below. I think you use the code RugbyAnalyst 10. And these lifting blocks behind you, Luke, if you grab one maybe. So they're designed for everyone, right? Not just internationals. They're designed for club players as well.
Yeah. I mean, it just so happened to be that our first piece of testing with the production parts was actually the World Cup last year. As
Talk
you
about
say,
going in at the deep end, Luke, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of back against the wall stuff, but it paid off. So now you're absolutely right. Like, I was grassroots. The idea fundamentally doesn't change regardless if you're playing for your local club's third 15 or you're walking out in a World Cup final. It's lifting in the line out, and we've looked at it kind of as a functional skill. You would never start out with a flat bar, as I say. So all we did was fill in the blanks, and the design really just revealed itself. Often as little design as possible is the best design.
Yeah, and you've got all sorts of players using them now, haven't you? You say, wasn't Liam Williams gave you a text to say, let's have some to go out to Japan with and stuff like that? Who else is using them?
Honestly, very surreal, very strange to be getting messages left, right and centre. But the Liam Williams one was a kind of classic. So the guys in Wales had used them. Liam, I'm assuming, must have seen them knocking about the changing rooms. and then got in touch with a friend of mine, got a WhatsApp off him saying Liam Williams wants to chat to you. He was taking them over to his new club, Kabuto Spears, and he wanted to give them as a gift. So helped him out with that. And you'll be able to turn on whatever streaming service now and watch Kabuto Spears players running out with them, which is fantastic, you know.
Yeah. Did you say Paul O'Connell used to use Mars bars?
Yeah, we heard that. We heard that through one of the guys at Ireland camps. We had, everyone has their preferences. Some guys have used the same lifting block or the thing they've made themselves, and they've got it in their kit bag for 4 or 5 years. But what we've done is kind of just rule a line under all of that and say, this is the shape it needs to be. This is the thickness it needs to be. And that's based on data. There's no argument with that. It works for the biggest hands. It works for the smallest hands. Really, now it's the only performance-driven line-out support.
One thing we've got to get into, you've got a foot in Scotland's camp and in Ireland's camp as such. You go and watch Ulster quite a lot, is that right?
Yeah, we're lucky. Lucky we got access to a couple of season tickets. So this season more than ever, we've been down plenty, which has been nice. Mixed bag for Ulster at the minute. But,
yeah, mixed bag. So the guys that are in the Ireland squad, is there anyone else you think should have been in there?
Oh, don't put me in the spot.
Got to do this.
To be honest with you, based on form, I think the country probably has access to plenty of really great players. I think Kieran Treadwell, even before the World Cup, was unfortunate not to get involved in the World Cup squad. But I think they brought in Cian Prendergrass in the last couple of days as well. So like the access to top quality second rows is undeniable. I mean, being biased and being at Ulster, I wish Cian had been there. But you know, I think we're well equipped to go out and do the business. I think the inclusion of Nick Timney, to be honest with you, has kind of sidetracked me. Being a back rower, I think he's long overdue a couple more.
Well, he's been phenomenal, but I mean, will he get a game? Maybe the Italy game, I guess, but it's stacked in the back row, isn't it? I mean, well, World Cup wise, how disappointed were you? Do you think there'll be a hangover, or do you think it's going to, motivate them?
Performance wise, no. Like, we went out there, we beat South Africa. To me, we were bouncing around the living room. That was the World Cup final for me.
Exactly. I mean, the big question is, can they replace Sexton? How big a loss is he? We'll find out, I guess. Who are you backing, fly half wise? I mean, most people are saying Crowley, but what about you? Frawley, Harry Byrne?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going with Crowley. I think he's still, 24, still even at club level, relatively untested. I know that's not fair to say, but his name gets thrown into this mix of can he fill Sexton's shoes, and I don't think that's maybe the right way to talk about him. If we were another country that didn't have possibly one of the greatest 10s of all time leaving, he would have a lot less pressure on him, could express himself. But I think for the minute, he would make the most solid choice, wouldn't he? And it seems to be where most people are talking.
Well, the benefit is he can just slot into a team that's pretty much unchanged. I don't think anyone's particularly missing apart from Mac Hansen, I guess. Amani, right captain?
Yeah, an interesting one. I mean, the Six Nations is huge, and we're all excited about it. I was a little surprised. I kind of figured maybe like everyone that James Ryan was going to kind of put his hand up, and that would be him. But just taking a step back and seeing what's coming in summer, seeing that South Africa summer tour, going down to South Africa, 3 tests. Peter Romani, as we all know, is a warrior. Is it? Let's get through this.
I mean, you just reminded me in the emails today saying, they've got this tour to South Africa, and I'd put that to the back of my mind because of the Six Nations. But you're right, what a big year for them. And do you want to chuck a new captain into a year like this? Maybe next year they'll go for a newer captain.
Yeah, you've got 3 years for another World Cup cycle to get those guys blooded in, but Peter's standing there and does it week in, week out. Everyone plays for him, So, no, I think it's right. And I think I've always been a Peter Romani fan since day one. So the more we get to see him playing and not retiring is brilliant. And leading us into the South Africa test would just be romance. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so are Ireland going to win against France and then take the Six Nations?
To be honest, I think not rocking the boat too much, as you say, not a whole pile of players swapping in, swapping out. Yes, a couple of injuries in the kind of back three, but loads of good cover to do that. I can't see them changing form much just because we're talking about one loss to New Zealand in their last string of games. that doesn't say anything about Ireland. It's very easy to kind of just get focused on how the World Cup went, and if we didn't win it, then we've changed in some way. But to me, this is still one of the number 1, number 2 team in the world.
Absolutely. I mean, in that New Zealand game, Luke, they didn't play their best. I mean, it's not like it was Ireland who were playing their best and it wasn't good enough. It was Ireland that didn't quite play their best, and that's why it wasn't good enough. So there's no reason why their best isn't good enough to, win the Six Nations and a South Africa tour.
Yeah. Hopefully for us, it's going to be a continuation of form. It's just pick up the ball and go with it. And it's undoubtedly something to prove, We all wanted to go further, one step further, but I think you'll see another strong Ireland.
Okay. Well, Luke, that was awesome. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime. Maybe chat a bit more Ireland. Hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. Pop all the comments below, and we'll catch you next time.